Hey guys, I'm back with another video. It feel like it's been a while, but I'm here again, and we have a small little haul of a few knickknacks from BBW. It's mainly just a few candles, and then a reward pickup, and then I also have a very random Glade candle as well to do basically a full review on at the end of the video. So if any of that interests you, then stay tuned. So yeah, basically what happened was Cozy Linen Nectarine was like the late release of that neutrals collection, and I was definitely on the hunt for it and actually found it at a store, so I did indeed pick that up. And so that is this right here. We're just hungry for new candles, you know what I'm saying? We're like so sick of the repackages, and they've had a few candle sales. They had the BOGO Tropical event, and then they had the $10 off thing for the weekend as well. But in any case, we have the Cozy Linen Nectarine right here. And this is white nectarine, fresh linens, warm sandalwood, and sweet musk. And this one has the rope-like wicks on it, but I was actually talking to a friend, and we have discovered, or they discovered initially, that there's actually different batches of this candle that actually have different wicks on it, which that normally doesn't happen. So like normally if a candle has like different wicks on it, like if there's a version that has like a thick rope-like wick one, but then when one has like a thin one or one has a core wick, then usually it's because it's in a different like totally jar format or different wax color. But this version actually has two different types of wicks on it. So I haven't burned obviously both type of wick versions. So just FYI, if you like prefer one wick over another, there are actually 3 different batches of this one lying out there, which is kind of weird because that normally doesn't happen. But there's actually a version that were made in like 2021 of December that was like a really old pour, I guess. Well, not really old, but you know, much older than March that it is now. But then there's this version that's from 2022 and on the 43rd day of it. But there's actually 2 batches of 2022 one that have the thick rope-like wicks of this one, but there's also a core wick 2022 version as well. But then there's a thick rope-like wick one of 2021. So just if you're a stickler about different wick types, once again, I don't know which one's gonna perform better or not. It's just kind of a toss up because sometimes the thick rope-like wick ones will be really sooty at the beginning, but then get really duddy and grody and murky towards the mid-range point. But then the core ones will be also extremely sooty and make the big mushroom tops, and like you can't get it to stop sooting. But sometimes those don't quite dud out as much as the thick rope-like wick ones. So kind of, I don't know. Originally I was like, well, maybe the 2021 ones have a different wick and the 2022 ones have the core wick instead. But then I found some 2022 ones that also had the thick rope-like wick. So it's kind of confusing. Just if you, I guess, really geek out on the wicks and the batch codes and everything, just be aware that there are actually 3 different batches of this one out there, but they all have white wax and they're all this glass. It's just the wick type is different. But that, like, the last time I've seen that happen was like from 2012, was it? From the Ariel Black, like pumpkin caramel latte is the one that just stands out in memory. There definitely could be other iterations of it where like they poured one version with a certain type of wick and it was really duddy, but then a newer version actually had a corrected wick on it. So I don't know, kind of interesting though, because especially because this one was a late release, and I think it was supposed to be out much earlier. And so there was an original 2021 pour out there, but then there's a newer 2022 version that's here now. So I don't know, maybe there was some production issues, or I don't know what was going on there, but just kind of interesting backstory on this one. So Cozy Linen and Nectarine. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like linen fragrances, but this one's deviates a little bit from all the other same run-of-the-mill ones. You definitely get like almost like a slightly feminine type of linen fragrance. It's a little bit more mature, I want to say, because that sandalwood and musk is actually quite prominent. That sandalwood is not quite as like dirty or grody as like the Japanese cherry blossom or the coconut sandalwood or even beach weather or the white pumpkin oak wood. It's not quite as like dirty or gritty as that, but the sandalwood and musk definitely give it a mature, like almost body care type of vibe to it. But then you get a clean linen fragrance in there as well, but it's kind of like warmed up by the sandalwood and musk. And then you do get the nectarine, which makes it a little bit sweeter, and I like that. And it makes it a little bit more juicier and fruity. And so that's why it kind of like changes up a little bit from all the other linen ones. But there's just so many like linen and fresh sheets fragrances out there nowadays that it's kind of hard to like keep them all in line. But that's kind of what Cozy Linen and Nectarine smells like. I like the addition of the nectarine in there because it does give it a like slight sweetness. And there's kind of like a sophisticated like hotel vibe to it that I really enjoy about it. So that was Cozy Linen and Nectarine right here. Yeah. What else was I going to say about it? Oh, I think there were some comparisons about it being Fiji White Sands, because Fiji White Sands also has a similar fragrance, like notes in it, like nectarine and sandalwood or something, but it most certainly isn't Fiji White Sands in my opinion. That one's even fruitier, doesn't have such a depth and the like linen fragrance that this one does. And that one, I thought Fiji White Sands is like a close sibling of Tiki Beach, so it has more of a coconutty tropical vibe to it, where this doesn't come off tropical to me. But that's Cozy Linen Nectarine right there. It's like the one new one, and it smells like surprisingly sophisticated for a BBW fragrance. So I was like, I'll get my hands on that and try that out. So that's Cozy Linen Nectarine right there. And then I was just really jonesing for coconut fragrances lately, which is weird because I'm not normally into coconut fragrances. But I've been really jonesing for them. And so I was like, you know what? I really want some type of coconut fragrance because like mostly like if I get a coconut fragrance, I don't love it so much. So I just try to burn it and then trash it and be done with it, you know? So I don't have an abundance of coconut fragrances in my candle collection. And I was like, I haven't had this one since the first time it came out in that like white barn core label. And so I did actually pick up a Mahogany Coconut, which was this one, I think was a late release in this Luminary collection as well. And this one actually, I don't mind the Luminary actually kind of works. Like it kind of reminds me of like the metal sleeves that you put around it, especially the ones that have like the thin metal that you can like snap in half and like it has like the, you know, design around it. So when this lights up, it kind of looks like it's already in a luminary, like a metal sleeve rather. So it's actually kind of nice. I wouldn't mind if like they somehow could have like got rid of the white band on it and it was just like fully this way and maybe like a small little like label or something there. I don't know, but like it's actually quite pretty to see it because it kind of reminds me of like a built-in metal sleeve on there. So that was that. Any case. Creamy Coconut, Mahogany Woods, and English Lavender. Everyone knows this fragrance at this point. It's still very strong, so I love that. But it's basically mahogany teakwood, but reduced a little bit and added in a very creamy, almost slightly vanilla coconut fragrance to it. It's actually quite pleasant and nice. Normally I just kind of have written off mahogany fragrances forever, but mahogany vanilla was really like the transitional gateway fragrance for me to actually kind of be able to see it in a different light and appreciate it again, because I really enjoyed mahogany vanilla. And so I was like, okay, well maybe mahogany so-and-so isn't so bad. So I was like, well, let me revisit mahogany coconut. And I was just burning this today because I was just like, I really want to dig into this. And it was quite nice. It's like a sophisticated, like if you want a coconut fragrance, but you don't want it to be like a pina colada or like a straight up like coconut cream, whatever. It has like a slight sophistication, so to speak, from the mahogany in it, that it's a nice deviation. So it, once again, it kind of has a luxury resort type of vibe to it that I really enjoy. So that's mahogany coconut right here. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Tiki Beach and like mahogany teakwood mixed together. This one actually has the curling wicks, which I don't mind because I don't use that much anymore. And it was burning great. So that was that right there. So that was mahogany coconut. Everyone kind of knows it. So that's what that is. And then let's see, I had a reward pickup. And so I had to do that with the Abapis order. And I've been really jonesing for coconut, so I got Copper Coconut Sands, the moisturizing body wash. They didn't have the shower gels at this point, so I just picked this up instead. I had a reward that was expiring, and honestly, it's so hard to find stuff to redeem rewards for because like the single wicks are absolutely useless, and then the shower gels are kind of slim pickings these days. Like I really want the Cloud 9 one, but I don't think the shower gel is available in any stores in my area, and there's just not a whole lot to redeem stuff for, especially because the shower gels have been really traditionally weak lately. So I was like, let me just get Copper Coconut Sands. I've just been a coconut kick. So I did get that, and that's that. Sunkissed Coconut, soft orchid petals, and creamy sandalwood, and that's what that is. It's just your usual run-of-the-mill, coconut fragrance. It smells very similar to Cocoa Shea Coconut. But also like all the other gajillions of like Waikiki Beach coconuts that are out there, just run-of-the-mill coconut fragrance. But there's a slight like warmth, muskiness to it that kind of reminds me of like a hot summer night. So I was like, okay, Copper Coconut Sands right there. It is not the same as Bali Black Sands, which has a much like, almost like a toasted sweet praline, it's like caramel undertone sweetness to it that I really enjoy. It is not that, but they're all coconut fragrances, so kind of the same. Let's see. My sister wanted a bunny PocketBac with the flower crown, so that's what that was right there. Many of these, like they're supposed to make noise, like a hopping noise, and so when I picked up my Bapis order, like the one that was actually tested out was broke. So just keep in mind if you do pick this up, like the majority of the ones in the store, the speaker didn't work. So if the hopping noise is a very like important selling point to you, definitely try it out before you take it home. So that's that right there. And then let's go on to the Glade candle. So I was at Target and I was making usual errands, and I was just in the grocery section, and then like across the grocery section at a super Target is like the cleaning product section, and on the end cap there was a Glade thing. And I remember that there was a Strawberry Sundae Funday candle and fragrance out. I think Shantae mentioned it on Instagram at one point, and I was like, ooh, this sounds so on my alley, because I love that BWC, like that berry waffle cone. Oh my God, I love that fragrance. And I actually really enjoyed the BWC in the shower gel as well, even though I ragged on it initially. And I was like, Strawberry Sundae Funday sounds like it could be in that type of category. And so that's what that was right here. I think there's full notes of strawberry ice cream and then like a waffle cone note in it. And I was like, I've always been curious about Glade candles, but there's not a whole lot of reviews out there because Glade just kind of gets a bad rap because it's a grocery store candle. And I was like, there's still 3 wicks though. This was $5.99 for 6.8 ounces, which I want to say they were more in like the $4 to $5 range before, but I guess with inflation and everything, prices go up. So it's more like $6 now. So I guess if you do times 7 times 2, that'd be like 14 ounces. So like comparable to what, a $12 candle at BBW if it was, you know, the full 14 ounces or whatever. But it has 3 wicks. You can see I have burned it quite significantly. I really wanted to do a review of it because so many of the reviews when you go on Target are the incentivized reviews where like this review was made in exchange for a free product, which I'm like, oh my God, when is a candle not reviewed in exchange for a free product these days? And I was just like going through all of them, and every single one's like, this is a, you know, incentivized review. And it's just like, you really can't get an accurate read on what the, you know, a review or the candle is if it's a product that was sent for free or if you're incentivized or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let me pick this up and just try it out and see how it does, because when I smelled this on cold, it was so delicious. You get like, it's kind of like a cross between the Yankee Candle Strawberry Scoop, but not quite as realistic because it's a Glade, but still quite delicious. It very much had like a strawberry milkshake quality to it, kind of similar to Strawberry Pound Cake from BBW, but a very creamy strawberry milkshake quality to it that I really enjoyed. But then it was mixed with enough of like this kind of conceptual waffle cone fragrance where it was like this slightly like milky cereal type of vibe. So if you recall the BWC shower gel, that definitely much had like a Captain Crunch milky vibe to it that I initially didn't like, but then I actually really grew to love. And this kind of featured a similar cereal note in there as well. There's a slight body care element in there as well. So it's kind of like an alternate reality berry waffle cone, BBW body care version, berry waffle cone, but with so much more emphasis on a creamy strawberry vanilla milkshake cream note that I really enjoyed. Because if you recall the berry waffle cone from BBW, the home fragrance, that one's just that golden crusty brown sugar note. This is nowhere near as golden, flaky, crusty, or brown sugary as the BBW version. So much more emphasis on the strawberry ice cream. But in any case, oh my God, even the cardboard smells really good. So I really enjoyed it. And so I did indeed burn it many times. It's like at the mid-range point, and now you can see it does like discolor kind of. And it actually, the wicks themselves perform really well, actually, much better than a BBW candle. Very consistent all the way down, like very minimal soot, so no issues there. But the issue with this one was absolutely divine on the first burn. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like, I need to go pick up another one because I really enjoy it. I got basically all the notes that I was experiencing when I smelled it on cold, with that creamy, like strawberry milkshake, plus a slight milky cereal, waffle cone-esque type of fragrance. And it was just really delicious. And it was actually quite strong. Like, I had it in this open concept, like living room, and I could like feel it. Like it feel it like in a medium, low-lying background level, but still very pleasant and very present. So I really enjoy that. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I actually moved it into a bedroom and I lit berry waffle cone next to it. And I was just getting my entire like berry waffle cone life, because you got like the crustiness of the BBW version, but then you got heaps of the strawberry ice cream from this version, and the two together were just absolutely delicious. And I was like, wow, this is actually really impressive for a Glade candle for $6. And it doesn't soot, like the wick performance was great and everything. And then the second burn was largely the same, and so I still appreciated it. But then by the third burn, it like really declined. It still burns fine, but I don't know if they like top load these candles with oils on the top and then towards the bottom there's less oils, or if the candle is kind of like, it's not huge, so like when you burn it, it does make a pretty even wax pool that maybe like you're burning off the oils much quicker and the oils are just as hardy as like a BBW candle. I don't really know. But when you go to like burn through it, like there's a vague fragrance to it, and then when you go to light it, there's a slight like waxy Glade plasticky quality to it. I believe this is like pretty much a paraffin candle. You can just tell from the texture of it, there's like a shininess to it. that, I don't know, when you go to burn it now, it's nowhere near as strong or delicious, potent. It's a little bit more waxy and definitely much weaker than it was at the beginning. So good for the first 2 burns, but then after that, it just kind of declined. And you can even tell like the color, I don't know if it's like scorched or what's going on there, but it's just, it like doesn't smell burnt, but it doesn't smell at all anywhere as quality as it was originally. So long story short, really enjoyed it in the first 2 burns, but I don't think I would repurchase or so much recommend, I guess, to a friend now, because I'm just kind of like, well, this isn't as good as it was initially. So I don't know, but yeah, that was my experience from the Glade one. There is a lilac one that smells just very much like a standard lilac fragrance. It was very strong on cold. There's a Cotton Cloud of Dreams, which smells exactly like the Pure White Cotton / Sea Island Shore fragrance from BBW, but I believe that's also out as linen sheets currently, or was very recently out as linen sheets. That fragrance exists as exact dupe as Cotton Cloud Dreams at Glade. There's a watermelon one, which was just a usual watermelon candy type fragrance. And then there's a Strawberry Sundae Funday one. So yeah, they actually smell quite nice on cold, but it's just the performance didn't quite last the entire candle. So, I mean, for $6, it's not bad. Maybe if you're to like chunk this up and melt it, or just put it on a warmer, you might have a little bit better experience because maybe it doesn't get scorched as much, but the fragrance itself on this is great. So if you like the fragrance, maybe check out the oils or whatever instead. So there was that. And I believe that's it. Kind of weird rambly video today, but I hope you enjoyed it. I think stuff that's coming out the pipeline, I think Life is on the Page had a whole slew of new candles coming out, and I think Scents Galore posted a lot of the test candles that are out. There's like the whole Fresh Lemon Waves and the Blue Sky Breeze and the Ice Lemon Pound Cake and all that stuff that's coming soon as well. There's also a like men's collection that I think previewed somewhere, and Life is on the Page had like a Geranium Fields in there, a Blue Bungalow, a Coconut and Clementine, some Linen Breeze thing. It's like this white barn core collection that's kind of geared towards men, or maybe it's like unisex. I don't really know, but there's that collection. There's also a geometric like men's inspired collection of Dark Velvet Oud coming out. Peppered Plum and a 3-Wick is supposed to come out again. Smoked Vanilla Whiskey, which I don't know if it's going to be a repackage of Smoked Vanilla, because you could claim that there's a whiskey note in Smoked Vanilla. I could believe that. There's also a Vanilla and Oak Wood that's supposed to come out. That I hope it's not just vanilla birch, but an actual like different, more sophisticated like vanilla woodsy fragrance, kind of like Smoked Vanilla or Winter White Woods. I don't really know. And then lastly, I think in that collection is also a Warm Ocean Breeze supposed to be coming out in a geometric like wraparound that kind of looks like those mixed material candles from a way back when. So that's also coming out as well. And then there's like a whole like chocolate banana mudslide thing, and a chocolate chip cookie, and a like red, white, and blue cake. So there's definitely more interesting bakery fragrances coming out later on. Hopefully they kind of got the memo that the stuff that they're putting out right now is really boring and quite a bit of a snooze fest. I'm hoping they'll like shake things up and give us something a little bit more interesting going into summer. So fingers crossed on that. And other than that, I just been really burning through all my candles and just like really just having just so many empties lately, just because I've been just like really enjoying just using my collection instead of buying new stuff. So I will try to burn this one and possibly do a review if it's noteworthy, and we'll go from there. Let me know what you've been enjoying or burning lately, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.